Hello and welcome to another Stay Tuned video. It's been a while since you've seen old Project Colorado here, and to be honest with you, quite a lot has changed since we had the dying turbo incident. Apologies for the delays in videos. We've been quite busy both with customers' cars and our own stuff, and we did a couple of things which we'll show you some footage of. But yeah, the Colorado's changed a bit, and all for the better, I think, to be honest with you. So yeah, why don't we go and check it out?
And here we are in the first major change area for Project Colorado, and that's the engine bay. We still have the mighty Unichip Q4 running the show. We've done some extra wiring for a few sensors that we needed to modify, but the most obvious change, F55 turbo, courtesy of our friends at G&L. We've made some custom intercooler piping. There's now a front mount intercooler. The radiator's been let back. There's a thermo fan instead of a factory clutch fan. And we've deleted the throttle body. When I say deleted the throttle body is currently cable tied to the firewall, as most of you guys would know. If you unplug it, it throws an engine light. To avoid the engine light, I still have it plugged in. We do know how we're going to delete it, and we will do it momentarily. All of this together, plus a few other things, has allowed us to make a little bit more power. Correct me if I'm wrong, somebody, but we were making 169.2 real world kilowatts before. A little bit more than that. So we're now fuel limited. We still only have the plus 30% injectors and the standard injection pump, and it's making 253 real world kilowatts. On 35 pound, which seems to be the smallest amount of boost I can run with our F55. If I could make a little less boost, it would make more power, but that's plenty enough for the time being. Unichip. The mighty Colorado, 257.4 rear wheel kilowatts. As you can see very clearly, it climbs lovely, ramps in hard, makes its power, and falls on task. Reason for that is we are completely out of fuel, and I literally can't make any less boost. It's running 35 psi boost to this F55 turbo. So this right here, we are going to solve momentarily. Stay tuned.
Just recap that.
So, some of our keenly eyed viewers might point out that in that video we just ran, the car actually had what appeared to be a water-to-air intercooler sitting over the top of the motor and a severe lack of black intercooler piping. And you would be 100% correct. For Power Cruise, we were, let's say, a little bit strapped for time. So we put a water-to-air intercooler on it temporarily, and look, it did its job, but much neater with the setup here, and we're actually yet to tune it with this setup, but I presume it's going to make pretty much exactly the same power.
Alright, so one of the many modifications we've made to this vehicle is we've now relocated the battery down to the tray here. We could have just kept it in the engine bay, but it would have looked quite messy, so we decided it would go under the tray. We've got a circuit breaker and stuff in there as well, but yeah, it cleans up the engine bay a lot, and look, it made pipe work a lot easier for the intercooler, so kind of two birds one stone, and away we went.
Here we have the Colorado's big dollar wheels and tyres. We decided that the factory 15-inch little skinny light truck tyres and wheels didn't quite suit the power and capability of this vehicle anymore. So naturally I went and got the cheapest steel wheels that I could find. They're a 17x8 in a 0 offset from memory, with, I don't even know what these tyres are. They're a Black Lion. Now there are 235/60 R17 on the rear and a 245/45 or 245/50 R17 on the front. They're actually a little wider and lower profile on the front, and they've got much more sidewall and a fraction skinnier on the rear. That was for fitment, as well as this is a common Ford Territory size tyre, and the one on the front is from a Golf. So they're incredibly cheap. I think these tyres cost us $60 a pop, and the wheels were actually a little bit less, and the fronts were not much more, $73, $74 from our friends at Tyre Power.
Alright, so we are in the luxurious interior of the Colorado here. We've made a couple of slight modifications in here. We now have an EGT gauge, so we can see how the poor old motor's travelling while we're abusing it mercilessly. We've also upgraded to an Android head unit, just because factory head units back when this were around were not that crash hot in this kind of vehicle. So now you've got USB, GPS, and we can actually use a Bluetooth OBD dongle to erase codes and stuff while we're driving along, because that sometimes happens. Not really inside, but this does have a clutch in it now. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but it has a carbon ceramic drag clutch from Shane at 1KD Performance. And look, he described it as being not too bad, and is correct. For how high it is rated, it actually drives quite well. Look, you definitely know it's not a factory clutch, but it is fantastic compared to some of the other stuff that we've driven. So, yeah, it's still pretty much factory game in here, just with a couple of little modifications just to keep it practical. And that's about it.
Always were a dreamer as a child. Every night I watch the stars, hoping for a sign. My father said, come down to earth.